So in terms of individual calls to action for how they can make an impact in the diversity and inclusion space, I would say the framework that I like to use, and I think it actually is relevant for individuals or corporations, is one that was developed by a guy named Dr. Martin Davidson at UVA at Darden School. And he's a professor of leadership, and he talks about the concept of leveraging difference. And he differentiates that concept from managing diversity. And to sort of put it very schematically, if you're managing diversity, you're creating value around difference. And so as a corporate or an individual, you're saying, I have too many of X and not enough of Y. And generally X is straight white men, and Y is some minority, whether it be women, LGBT people, people of color, etc. And so in an old school managing diversity framework, which unfortunately way too many companies still have and too many individuals think in this way, it's all about a problem to be solved. It's left up to your HR people, or you as a person think of it as affirmative action. And the challenge being, if you bring in people under that framework, right, the Y in that equation, the people you don't have enough of, they're brought in because of that characteristic and they know it. And the people that you have too many of, the X in that equation, know it as well. So you've created this imbalance because people aren't being brought in because of their skills or their technology abilities or their passion or their experience. They're being brought in because of a characteristic. And it never works, it fails. And unfortunately, that has become, I think, the framework for diversity and inclusion for a very long time. A lot of forward-thinking companies and individuals have pushed back on that, and that's great, and I'm seeing huge success when companies do. Now, you contrast that to leveraging difference. One, it's opportunity-focused, not problem-focused. All relevant differences count. And it's opportunity-focused because everyone sees their role to play. So a straight white male in the leveraging difference framework understands that it's about how they can do better in their role, how they as a company can actually win more business by being better in diversity and inclusion. And so I use that framework because if you take that at an individual level, if you think about diversity as a zero-sum game as an individual leader, as in if I bring in someone that it doesn't look like me, that's less of the pie for me, versus if I bring in more diversity into this organization, it's going to help me think differently, be better at our role, win more clients, etc. It changes the game entirely. And so the call to action to me is the Peter Drucker quote, "In business you don't have to change, survival is optional." So if you're doing things the way you've always done them, good for you, but you're not going to be around in 10 years.